Welcome back to another Early League 6 reveal, and in today's reveal we got a Tier 5 relic being the Farmer's Relic, Nature's Accord. And this one's got quite a few changes from the previous leagues. In last league, Overgrown didn't come all the way until Tier 7, which seemed kind of outrageous. But it still turned out to be pretty strong overall. Crops never died. Every time you planted a seed, you had a 75% chance not to consume it. Your crops were automatically ultra composted. But the real strong part of this relic was every time something fully grew, if you had another one of those seeds in your seed vault, it would automatically harvest that crop and then replant the patch for you. Yes, this relic came really late, but it effectively made herb lore and farming completely obsolete because it did them AFK while you just did other activities throughout the game. Obviously, you had to go back and train your herb lore, but getting the supplies became incredibly easy. Now this time around, farming comes in Tier 5. And to start things off, farming patches and plants no longer have any level requirements, meaning you could effectively plant a magic tree in a tree patch at level 1 farming. Now there aren't any actual farming tree locations in Varlamore, so that might not be the best example, but you get the point. Along with it, we will receive 10 times the yield from all farming patches, and this will automatically be noted. So every single time you pick one herb from a patch, instead you will get 10. Your crops will never die, and you have a 20% chance to not use a seed or sapling whenever you're planting. But another interesting twist we get with this league's relic is we get the fairy mushroom from the previous league. Last league, we basically got Tier 3 as an entire relic tier of just different types of teleports. And judging off our early reveals so far, they seem to be trying to go away from that kind of entire teleport tier. We've been getting some slight iterations of teleport with each different tiered relics. For example, Evil Eye, we got the amulet that teleports you to all of the boss lairs. And then in Tier 4 with our clue relic, we get some new clue contracts which will teleport you to your current clue step. And these will be consumable and a reward from completing clue scrolls themselves. Opposed to the previous league where we got the clue compass that just automatically infinitely teleported you to every single step. And now continuing on with that, once again, we go to the Farmer's Relic this time around, and we get the Fairy Mushroom that will allow us to teleport to any Fairy Ring, Spirit Tree, or Tool Leprechaun location. So in the same way, we're getting a lot or a majority of the teleports we had in previous leagues, but now you're also getting more options with which areas you want to prioritize your teleportation to. Now I guess time will tell whether we're getting something like a Bank Heist that'll teleport us to any bank around the game, but so far we're definitely setting up to having a bunch of different options in regards to what relics you're choosing and really what style you're trying to go after and what content you want to do the most. Lastly, the mushroom can't teleport you to areas you don't have access to, so you can't go to leprechauns in regions you haven't unlocked. But just like some of the previous teleports, this item will also ignore all wildy teleport restrictions. So you can teleport straight out of 50 Wilderness to a farm patch, or to a tool leprechaun that is very close to a bank. All in all, even with the changes, this relic is still very strong. The 10x yield, and I think I even forgot to note that XP is granted for all additional resources you have gathered. So not only are you getting 10 times the herbs, but you're also getting 10 times the XP. Things like limpwort root seeds, which are incredibly easy to get from master farmers. But even with that, with increased yield and XP, limpworts have shown to be some incredibly fast XP. Now the obvious skill this relic does automatically solve is herb lore, which is definitely one of the more painstaking skills if you do ultimately want to max. And unfortunately, just like the other reveals, we have yet to see any of the other relics in this tier. But depending on what it's up against, this relic definitely solves a few different problems. Another couple ideas I had, if you do end up picking in a region like Zaya, you also unlock a late game crafting solve with being able to plant Celastra seeds and getting a ton of Celastric bark to make battle staffs. And as I'm sure everybody's going to be doing a ton of Perilous Moons, it is a very easy way to get yourselves water orbs. And those two in tandem alone can be very easy crafting training. In Zaya, you'd also unlock Tithe Farm, which would give you access to planting grapes, which would be an immediate solve for cooking if you don't end up taking Barbarian Gathering or Endless Harvest. Yeah, cooking is a little less of a painstaking solve regardless of what relics you're taking, but I still think noteworthy nonetheless. Overall, this is definitely a relic I'm going to keep my eye on. It's one I will heavily consider depending on what other things are in this tier. And I guess as a last note, as of recording this video, they did just announce the new reward for the Echo Dagannoth Kings will be this Viking helmet. I imagine probably very similar in stats to the battle hat we just had in Gridmaster. But this one definitely flags a big question on whether we're going to get any of the returning Echo weapons. I can't say I'm too upset to see the Emperor Ring and Amulet of Monarchs not returning, considering they were so incredibly OP compared to some of the other Echo weapons. I imagine this hat's still going to be very good. If we do pull up the battle hat, you can see it had plus 60 in all its defenses, plus 5 in range strength, 10 melee strength, 10 prayer, and 5% magic. Overall, incredibly strong and definitely worthy of being an echo item. I imagine it's going to be something very similar to this, to say the least. I guess time will tell, but the one I'm most interested to see if we do ultimately have return, and that is the Thunder Khopesh out in the Wildy. So that's going to do it for today. If you guys did enjoy this video, consider dropping a like, and I will catch you guys in the next one.